The public school system is not collapsing. Relax. Relax. The people sending their children to private school, even if they're coming from another private school or they were already sending their children to private school, as I was, if they're receiving money from the Choose Act, remember, chances are they've paid far more taxes than most other people. So you should really stop complaining about them getting some of their money back in order to educate their children. Stop whining about that. It is incredibly lame. But what else are you going to do? Look at AL.com and the godless heathens in the American media, how they continue to cover this story. Look no further than the Peach City Academy story that AL.com is running right now about the Choose Act. They talk about the kids and they talk to the kids, and the kids seem relatively happy about what they're getting out of this situation. You're seeing that pretty clearly in the story. So what do? They go to out-of-state sources, bring in some professor from North Georgia who studies school choice, who's complaining about the lack of oversight, the lack of regulation, and the draining of the resources from the public school system. That's the complaint. It is really about money. But they're not ever interested in talking about these kids and these parents who want these options, who've made this choice to take their children out of the public school system and put them into the private school system. Not all of them, some of them. And the ones that made that choice did so for various reasons. The article complains, it tries to tell a story, but it's actually complaining about the religious focus of the school. And again, they go into the lack of regulations again and complain about that, but they fail to understand why these schools exist. The school systems have had a monopoly on education and tax dollars forever, and they have failed. They have failed repeatedly over and over and over and over again. And anytime somebody stood up and said, hey, should you guys be doing this? Whether it's transing kids, showing porn to students, or praising the murder of a conservative activist, the response is always the same from the school system. Hey, we're in charge of your kids, not you. Shut your mouths. We'll tell them what they're supposed to know because that's what public educators do. There are kids now. Well, the American people and Alabama voters have said, no, they're not. There are kids, and we're going to decide where they're going to go. So it's not much of a surprise that these people will tell the same story over and over and over again about how there's no regulation, there's no rules, they're not getting the same stuff they're getting out of the public school. And everyone will see that who's taking advantage of this and go, you're right. That's the point.